Ori is owned by the stakeholders are a bunch of ship owners and operators and managers. And we have designed the solutions, the technology solutions, in order to support the crew, as well as the ship managers, as well as the ship operators, commercial operators, in safe operation and efficient operations of the ship. So we all know and understand the complexity which the maritime industry is faced with. We have a lot of multiple stakeholders with vested interest, but with very much dependent upon each other. So we are operating in a very complex environment, a very dependent environment. But sad to say that the business model of operation is still stuck with the very old 200, 300-year-old business model, fixed contracts, a charter party with fixed speed versus fuel oil consumption versus sea conditions, with very limited visibility in how the ships are being actually operated. So I just wanted to show the slide. The crew has the full information, access to the full information, but when it comes to the ship manager, it really trickles down, and finally when it reaches the ship owner, it just trickles in drops. Not to mention the charterer or the end client, who is using the ship to transport its cargo from point A to point B. So how can we digitalize and bring everybody onto a common platform has been our key objective in designing our solution. So just here, I would like to highlight the three key elements that any ship operates on, and how any ship manager and operator needs to grapple. Number one is the human element. We all know, we understand the human factor is related to probably up to 90% of the incidents that happens. When we do the root cause analysis, it all boils down to a human factor. How we can probably circumvent this, or solve for this human factor. Number two is about the process, whether the standard operating procedure is being complied with. Many incidents happen because of the process has not been followed properly. And then the third element is the machinery, the equipment, the reliability of the equipment, the uncertainty which we are faced with when a particular system breaks down. So we believe digitalization can solve all these three key functionalities. Earlier we had David Fu talking about how the data can be holistically linked together in an integrated environment, and decisions can be made that much more efficient when we have the data. The trouble is, be it the ship crew, be it the ship manager, the ship owner, at least in the mainstream shipping, hardly uses data for decision making, here. So that is what we would like to press upon the industry to recognize and change. We have this solution called the SMARTShip solution. It is a very high-level architecture for your understanding. It's very simple, nothing complicated, no rocket science here. We connect to all the navigational equipments. We connect to the cargo control console. We connect to the alarm monitoring system. Many of the modern ships, especially the high asset classes, have an integrated system on board, which is very easy to plug in and interface and gather the data. We have an onboard server on board the ship with edge analytical capability that with the intelligence in it, in order to recommend to the crew on a real-time basis for decision making. So that is a key function. So our solution, the first set of users are the crew on board. Then using the satellite communication, we transmit the data onto a shore cloud platform where combining with the environmental data and the various other data that affects the ship operations, we can do data analytics and then pipe back the recommendations back to the ship, again for decision support of the crew. So at the same time, we have, by linking the shore users onto the cloud, we get access to what the ship's crew sees on board the ship. So on real-time basis, we have the ship connected to the shore so that all the transparency and the visibility into the ship's operations is gained. Yeah. This, we have the potential to connect all the stakeholders onto a common platform. Of course, the data owner, the ownership of the data remains with the ship owner who has the key, and he can decide to unlock to access to have the access of the data to the charterers, the bankers, the insurers. We all know in other industries. Everybody has benefited, especially when you look at the transport industry. The insurance companies reduce the premium if they have get access to some of the data, like telematics when you on your own personal car. So there is this potential value creation that can be gained by providing access to all the stakeholders. We are talking to class. We are talking to the regulators like MPA, we are talking to insurers, so everybody sees the value in data, even the makers. So the makers are even willing to purchase the data, so that is the value of data. Data is the new oil. So here, the SMARTShip, the 3 key functionalities, is the number 1 is about the real-time monitoring and the diagnostics. We don't have to send a service engineer on board the ship for diagnostics. You have all the data trends. You can access all the data trends from the shore. All the history can be looked upon, and the troubleshooting can be done from the shore. That also provides the value add of bringing in the transparency. Number 2, we have the ability, when you have all the data on a common platform, the power of IoT, the Internet of Things. When we link up the data from one system to the other, a lot of value can be generated. That is on the reliability and the risk mitigation. Number 3 is on the power of the data analytics. Of course, the productivity gains and the dollar savings for the ship owner can be realized. This is my last slide. What we would like to aspire towards is to have a kind of a very similar to what David has been in one of the slides. He was talking about the Port Operations Control Center. We would like to develop a vessel operations control center, which in turn can be connected to a port operations control center, and everything in an integrated environment. So with the SMARTShip system as the central and core module in this VOCC, if you call it, we integrate the SMARTShip system to the other, like if you're using an ERP solution for plant maintenance system, or your accounting system, your financial ERP, Oracle or SAP, or your commercial system, like many of the ship operators are using IMOS from Bison. Everything can be integrated onto a common integrated platform, and which will help a lot of what you can say is merging of the functions. The technical operations, commercial functions can be merged in this control center environment, and decision making can be made more on by data driven. So data driven decision making is the key here. So that is what we are aspiring towards. It's not yet ready. We are working with some of our partners, ST Engineering here in Singapore, to achieve that. I think I have come to the end of my. I don't want to see the the last slide. Thanks.